Okay, so now that we're 100% sure that our AC power is turned off, and as you can see, it is off. This is a indicator to tell you what's going on inside this socket. So we can take this out. Now if you don't have something like this, you can use what's called a non-contact voltage tester, and you just put it near the wire like this, and you can tell if there's power in there. If there was power in this one, this would be beeping like crazy, but it's not. Alright, so we can turn this off and put this to the side. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the tape that's on here right now. Just like that. Okay. Now we have our replacement outlet, and as you can see, it doesn't appear to be a GFCI outlet. This outlet here is what's called a GFCI outlet, and this is what you find anywhere in the kitchen or close to a water source. But this particular outlet right here is protected by another GFCI outlet that's on the other side of the room. So that's why we're only putting in a standard outlet versus this style right here, because it's still protected from an outlet on the other side. That's a GFCI outlet. All right, next thing we're going to do now is we're going to come in here and we're going to disconnect these wires right here. We are going to put them back on where they come from. So we'll unscrew this black one. The black one is right here, so we're going to unscrew it there. We're going to take the wire like this, lift it out. Okay, just like that. We're going to turn it over, and you can see on the other side you have a white and you have a silver, like a copper colored wire. So we're going to put them back on the same location. This one is actually, it's a ground wire. Okay. And then we'll take this one off here as well. Sometimes you'll have to play with it to get it to come off, just because the way it's touched, it's squeezed together. Okay, so now we took our white wire off here, we took our black wire off there, and our ground wire off here. So we're going to do the exact same thing. We put it back together, just like this. Here, here, and here. So let's put this ground wire on first, right here. Now we're going to take our ground wire and we're going to squeeze it together, just like that, so that we have a nice tight fit with this wire in here, just like that. And you want to have that wire on so that when you tighten this screw clockwise, it pulls that wire tighter. So that's what's going to happen right now. When we screw this down, it's going to pull the wire tighter. So we'll screw it down as tight as we can make it by hand. Okay. Next thing we're going to do now is we're going to take our white wire. It's going to go on this side right over here. So we're going to screw this one all the way down because we're not going to be using this one right now. Okay. This wire here, we're going to take this, put it around just like the way it came off like that. We're going to squeeze this wire tight. So that way it's a nice tight fit. Just like that. Again, we're going to put it on so it turns clockwise to tighten it up. And now we'll squeeze these wires together. Just like that. And now we'll tighten down this wire here. we're going to turn it back up like this, and we're going to connect it up on this one right here. This one we're going to screw all the way back in. And then this wire we're going to connect right onto here. Okay, nice and tight. We're going to squeeze it together so that way it's a nice tight fit. And now we'll screw these in. Okay, so it's tight. These two on the other side are both tight, and now it's ready to go back in. Now, you see the size of this screw right here? This screw may be a little bit too short for that box there because we have tile here now, and we lost about, I'm going to say probably about a ½ inch, so this might not even work to go into that hole right there. So we do have some 632 screws, and these 632s are much longer, so we'll be able to get in there with that. Okay, so we're going to take our wires now, push our wires back inside the box. Let's see if these screws are going to work. And no, these screws are actually too short. So we're going to take these screws out, and we're going to put the longer screws in. So now we're just going to take this back out like that. We're going to hold that little paper piece on the back, and then we'll back these all the way out. See the difference? A significant difference in length. So this one will be perfect for that particular box right there. All right, so let's take the bottom one out too. Let's put the longer screw in. Now, if by chance you lose that paper piece that's on the back that holds this in place, it's not a big deal. If you lose it, you don't have to have it in there. It's just to keep the screw from falling out while you're working with the new outlet itself. All right, so now we're going to push these in, just like that. And now we'll catch our screws into the electrical box itself. And before you tighten it up, well, of course, we'll get our second screw caught right up on the top here as well. And now once you have both of them caught, we can screw them in until the back of the outlet touches against the tile itself. like that. Put our cover over the top, just like that. And that's all there is to it. All right, take our outlet tester, plug it in like that. We'll go and turn on the outlet. We'll make sure everything is set correctly. Okay, so here we can see we have two lights lit right here. And if you look right here, you'll see that it's correct. If it's two lights lit on the left side here, it's correct. And that's what it is. All right, and we can test the GFCI outlet just by pressing this button. And then we can hear that the GFCI kicked off behind me. All right, let's turn it back on. Okay, and that's all there is to it. All right, so as you can see, changing the outlet is really a very simple job. The only thing I will tell you is if you do need longer screws, make sure you get the correct screws for the job. These are 1.5 inches long. They do make them longer if you need them, but 1.5 inches is more than adequate for me. Now, I just want to tell you this too. If you get screws that are too long, you can cut the screw down to make it fit properly. And the way you do that is just get yourself a pair of cutting pliers such as this here, and you take the screw and you put it into the one that's marked 632 on here, and then you just squeeze it and you can cut the screw to whatever length you actually need to have the screw. So that's it, job is done. Just don't forget, make sure you turn on your outlet to make sure that everything works properly. All right, this job is done and we're on to the next one. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.